This is East Carolina Defensive Coordinator Blake Harrell, and you're listening to the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
How about those friggin' Pirates?
Welcome in to Meet the Candidate. I am Dave Richmond. I'm running for the town commissioner for District 2 in Williamston. If you're wondering about the intro there, we have a show we do all the time for East Carolina sports. It's called the Sports Objective, and we've been doing that for about 5.5 years. Tonight is a chance, though, for you to meet the candidate. That's me, yours truly, and we'll be doing that over the next hour between now and 8 o'clock. Appreciate all the people listening and watching right now. In fact, if you're not watching live, you can always go back and you can archive in the archives for YouTube and, of course, Facebook. And we also have it everywhere that we distribute the podcast, being the Sports Objective. So love for you to comment and put your questions and comments. You can do so in the comments section for Facebook and YouTube. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We appreciate you so much for taking the time to be with us. And you may want to know a little bit about me, so I'll tell you a little bit about me. We'll have our platform, Q&A anytime. If you want to put a question up there, or comment, we'll take that as well. But a little bit about me. I graduated in 1991 from Williamston High, so now we'll say Riverside High. And then I went on to East Carolina and graduated there in 1995 with a BS in political science. So I have a background of political science, if you're wondering about that. I've just never been the front part. I'm always the guy on the side, not the camera, as far as a candidate, but here I am. You know, it's one of those things people were asking me the other day about the candidacy, and I said, never say never. I always thought that I would never run for a campaign, and here I am. In fact, the campaign that'll be November 7th is Election Day. So it's a great journey between now and then. We have a lot of positive feedback so far. I appreciate that very much. You know, I have two amazing kids. Alex is 10. Mackenzie is 9. They're fifth graders and fourth graders rising, if you will, at E.J. Hayes starting in a week. Man, it's hard to believe. I got to remember to get those school supplies. But anyway, I'm a single dad. And people said, you know, why in the world would you run? Well, the reason I'm running is because of my kids. They are my future. They're my pride and joy. And I sat back and said, you know, maybe this will happen or that will happen. And one of my favorite sayings, by the way, is when your ship doesn't come in, swim to it. And so I feel like now it's time to swim to it. I feel like we have a lot of great people in the town of Williamston and Martin County. Right behind me, you see the hospital, something we'll be talking about tonight, even though technically it's not a county issue. August the 3rd at 10 a.m., it became a town issue as we don't have access to health care. And it's put a huge strain on ECU Health. Full disclosure, I work for ECU Health at the medical center. I'm a supervisor of experience. That basically means hospitality for the greeters that you see in the lobbies. I do that. I attend Memorial Baptist Church, if you're wondering. Love that, my home church very much. And my kids are just amazing, and love going there as well. So we'll be taking your questions and comments. My beautiful sister, Amy, is watching in on YouTube. Appreciate you, Amy, very much. And she said she's proud of me. I'm proud of you, too. She has a PhD in nursing and doing very well. I'm a product, as I said, of Martin County Schools. Very proud of our school system. Both of my children go there, as I said, to E.J. Hayes. I have traveled around the world doing mission work. My beautiful sister, in 2012, we went to Africa, the western part of Benin, and we saw over 800 patients in about 3.5 days. I've backtracked a little bit. I got my bug, if you will, for mission work. I did that 2 tours of duty after 9/11. We went up with the North Carolina Baptist men to New York City after 9/11 at Gateway Plaza as we cleaned apartments right near Ground Zero. Easy for me to say, but a lot of fun there. Want to give a shout out to my dear friend Bubba Rosenbaum, producing behind the scenes, and he's one of the best in the business, and appreciate him. I'd go to war with him any day of the week. And we've been doing the show together for over 5 years. We call it the Sports Objective. Like I said, I have 27 years of radio broadcast experience and almost 8 years. Thanksgiving will be 8 years as a healthcare worker. So really proud of those accomplishments. And certainly when it comes to what we're going to be talking about tonight, we'll do the Q&A. But anytime you want to chime in, you can do so. Put your questions and comments again on Facebook or on YouTube, however you're watching tonight. Wanted to start out with our platform, if you will. One of the things that comes to mind to me is communication and transparency. And I will let you know right now, no secret, what you're seeing tonight is exactly what we're going to do whenever we're having a big issue. We'll actually meet here on Facebook or YouTube. Obviously, we can do a Zoom call, whatever the case may be. We can meet live in person at places around the district or certainly the town and maybe the park as we can get a chance to know you better. We'll be doing that on a regular basis. And also, I want to give a shout out to all the great people in Williamston. We're going to do a podcast the first of the year called Why Not Williamston. It's a slogan I came up with 3 years ago now, August of 2020. Man, time is flying. And I really believe in our town. And that's how my journey started. If you're wondering, August of 2020, I was like, how can I improve things? How can I do better? And I started thinking about things that I'm experienced in, music, obviously, with being a radio DJ for 27 years. You get a chance to meet a lot of great people in country radio and all across the board. And so we started doing concerts. We've been a big part of the downtown stage. I want to give a shout out now to April Cooper with the Chamber. They do a fantastic job. April has been monumental with us in the last year. And in fact, she's been there all along with the stage journey, if you will, the downtown stage. We've been doing the downtown stage thing since I believe it was April of 21. And that's one of the things of my platform. We'll talk about revitalization. That's my last key point. But that very thing of the stage has been a dear part of my plan for revitalization. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But communication, you can count on me because we are going to be communicating with you on a regular basis. We want you to know that here's the thing. We work for you. You don't work for us. That's right. We don't work for you. You don't work for us. We work for you. And I want you to know that that means a lot to me, that I think that we have had a situation where politicians usually move that around. And so we want to make sure that you know that and that we're proud of you and that you can count on me. I think that two of the most important things in any relationship is communication and trust. And I think the trust is missing somewhat. I think that we have to earn your trust. And that's something we'll work really hard to do. And I promise you that we will have a lot of communication. When we have that communication and that transparency, hopefully we can restore your trust and that you'll believe in us. And I want you to know you can count on me. You can count on us on the board. We're going to work very, very hard for you. And I want you to know that it's not a title. I'm not running for a title. I don't want you to ever call me commissioner. I want you to call me David. That's why I'm running, is to improve Williamston. I really love my town. I love my county. And I believe it's a mindset. It's a mindset that we have. And we'll talk a little bit later about that. Again, if you have your questions or comments, you can put that in the YouTube section, the comments section on YouTube or Facebook. So our number one platform, number one thing on our platform that's the most important thing to me is certainly trust and communication and transparency. That's really big. And I've heard that a lot from people. People are telling me, Dave, people don't listen to us. Well, I can promise you that you'll have my phone number. You'll have my email address. You'll have all the good things there. However you want to text me, call me, email me. We have shows like this. You'll have, hopefully you won't get sick of me, but you'll definitely have a way to communicate with me one way or the other. Really proud. Thank you so much. A lot of people already tuning in tonight. Means a lot to me. And again, put your comments or questions if you're just joining us on the comments section of Facebook or YouTube. Again, that's the first thing, the first platform issue, if you will, that we're running on is certainly communication, trust, transparency. The second thing that we're going to talk about tonight is sports and entertainment. We have a lot of things that we're working on right now. Some things I can talk about right now. Some are a done deal and some are not. But let me just say that some things we can already talk about. Our musical main concert series will continue. It's been going on for about a year now. and we've had a lot of great concerts. I appreciate the support of all the people coming downtown. We're going to do that. Their Musical Maine will continue next year, and we'll always be looking for sponsors. And it's just really simple, folks. If we get more sponsors, we get more money. If we get more money, then we could do that. So appreciate that very, very much. I tell you what, I'm really excited for you guys to be a part of the show. In fact, let me put this up. First of all, I told you my sister was watching tonight. Thank you to my sister Amy very much. She says, proud of you, Dave. Thank you. And then our good friend JR. Hello, JR. He says, the fact that I would vote for you, even though I don't know whether you're Democrat or Republican, speaks volumes. Unfortunately, I am not in Martin County. Johnny, can you get a house, a new vacation home, or I know you retired in Greenville and you're a great pirate, but maybe can you move over for I'm just kidding. But thank you, Johnny, so much for tuning in. It means the world to me to have you here tonight. And again, if you want to be like Johnny or my sister Amy, you can put your comments or questions on YouTube and Facebook in the comment section, and we'll put it up there tonight. If you have a question, something you want to know about me or what maybe in my positions, we're working on that. And some maybe I've never heard of, well, I'll have to look into. We'll do that for sure tonight. Second thing we talked about is sports and entertainment. The entertainment piece, we have a music on Maine. I'll unveil another thing that I want to happen next year. And again, it takes money from sponsors, not taxpayers. Notice I said that. Sponsors. We're not going to ask the taxpayers to fund anything. This is all private donations and from businesses and people to make these shows happen. So we have the music on Maine we told you about. The next thing we're going to be working on is movies on Maine. I didn't stay up all night working on these ideas, but we're going to have movies next year for you downtown. And again, there'll be sponsors, and we will be working with, I'm sure Parks and Rec can help us out as well at the downtown stage. And I appreciate April Cooper. I can't say her name enough. She and, of course, Rebecca, and before that, Chase Connor. I'm on my third president now of the chamber. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and they do a great job for Martin, Washington counties. So appreciate them. But sports and entertainment are huge for me, and two of the things I know a lot about, believe it or not. And so we have music on Maine. We told you about movies on Maine is really big. We also are working on other projects with sports. I can say that. I can't talk about all the details there. We have another exciting thing. I'll just tease it right now. We'll talk more about it. But I will tell you that in May, if you're a kid, a big kid, or if you're a small kid, all I can tell you right now in early May, we've got something really cool we're bringing to Williamston, and I'm so excited about it. We worked out the details last week, so I can at least say that much for you. So that's going to be a lot of fun. What else? This is something that may be a little controversial, but a lot of people have told me we're going to move maybe not this year, for 2023. It may be too late, but we want to move the Christmas parade from Thursday at 4 o'clock to Saturday at 10 a.m. And some people would say, Dave, why would you do that? And I'll tell you why. Everything that we do has to have a purpose. Okay, it has to have a purpose of why we're doing it. We cannot have a parade Thursday at 4 o'clock because there's a lot of people that cannot participate. I work in Greenville. My kids can't go to the parade. And I will tell you a quick story while we have a chance. And you say, Dave, why does this matter? I'll tell you why it matters. Because we need to have those businesses in mind whenever we have a parade. In this particular case, Saturday at 10 a.m. Okay, it'll take an hour and a half for the parade, right? Puts it about 11:30. Let's go backwards to Back to the Future, if you will. Christmas of 1990. We had that parade at 10 a.m. And I worked at Burger King. Okay, I'm 17 years old. One of the hardest days I've ever worked in my life. And what happened is we actually had at Burger King. We served. I'll never forget this as long as I live. 93 people. 93 people. And 90 minutes. You heard me right. And guess why? Because we had a Christmas parade Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So make sure that you write that down. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is when a lot of people want the parade back. That's something that simply we can do. It doesn't cost the taxpayers any money. It's actually we need to look out for our small businesses, okay? And that leads me to number 3, and that is we are open for business. I am business friendly. I want to look at your taxes. I want to see if we can lower the taxes in any way. We have one of the highest tax rates in North Carolina, and myself and other people that'll be on the board, we're going to look at that because it's I understand that taxes are necessary as far as how we fund things, but also we need to be really, really careful about that when it comes to being business friendly. I want to let everybody know we're open for business. Okay, we are open for business. If you've ever wanted to be an entrepreneur, then here's your chance, and you can do it in Williamston. We would love to have a downtown restaurant. If you're looking to open up your first restaurant, maybe a brewery, that's something that's really big. And I know it's rural Eastern North Carolina, but there's a lot of people right here would love to have that. There's all kinds of things I've heard over the years, like a used bookstore, an old-fashioned drugstore. Remember the orangeades and the lemonades and ice cream? That would be awesome. So make sure that that's something that we can talk about, business-friendly. We also want to look at how we can reduce crime. What can we do for our law enforcement, EMS, fire and rescue? You know, I was always big on them, of course. And then with the hospital closure, you see the hospital behind me, August 3rd at 10 a.m. It's put a huge strain. Michael Peaks does a great job. Travis Cowan, those guys. I know Tim Manning, of course, with the county with law enforcement, but we need to do everything we can, number one, to support them anyway. But now we have a huge strain when it comes to the hospital I asked the guys from the fire department, EMS, I said, what can we do? They looked at me and said, hire more people. That's all you can do. They've got the resources. They've got a lot of stuff. But, folks, it takes right now 10 calls, takes 13 hours. Did you hear me there? 10 calls. This is from them, not David. This isn't me making it up. This is not rumors of a small town. I listened to them for about 20 or 30 minutes at our event we had a week ago, Saturday. They need more people. We cannot have it where people pass away. We've had people pass away where they're going to the hospital in another town. We're putting more strain on ECU Health and all the community hospitals around us. And by the way, I want to remind you, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we have Dr. Stephen Manning from Access Medicine. He'll be with us for the whole hour. So at least for 30 minutes, we'll see how long Dr. Manning can stay. He's obviously got a great family with Candy Manning, his wife, and kids. They're awesome. But appreciate all that Dr. Manning is doing for us during this time. He's fighting really hard. And like I said last week, I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, if they're independent, whoever they are, if they can get that hospital open, like I said, it's right behind me, then I am all for them. And we talked about that last week. It's not the time to play politics. But again, Dr. Manning tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, he'll be with us for hopefully 30 minutes. Maybe he can go longer. We'll see. I guess it depends on how many people tune in and they have questions. If you have questions or comments tonight, we'll be with you until the top of the hour, until 8 o'clock Eastern. We're live right now. So again, my sister and Johnny, appreciate you all again. If you have questions or comments, love for you to put that up. We talked about, if you're just joining us, the different platform issues. We told you about trusted communication is huge for us. We talked about sports and entertainment. There's a lot of stuff we're working on behind the scenes. I wish I could tell you more tonight, but let's just say that we need support from the community to make that happen. But the good news is, with the stuff that we're bringing in, it brings more money for our restaurants, hotels, gas stations, maybe other businesses that normally people might not go to, but they'll go to because they're here locally. So we want to mention that too. We talked about being business friendly. That's something that's really important to me. Reducing crime. We need to find out, again, ways that we can improve and help our civil servants, and how we can work together, all together in the community, to reduce crime. We have 5,100 people in Williamston, and we have 22,000 in the county, and I believe it's about 9 million or so in the state of North Carolina. So, but we need to really work hard at that. Also want to talk about revitalization. I'm giving you the highlights, if you will, of my platform, and then we'll take, obviously, we're at the 20-minute mark. We'll see how many people can chime in tonight. Love to have you here. Very, very, that would be very, very cool. So the last thing is revitalization is something some people said, well, Dave, we need more than just the downtown area, and that's true. So in my district is the part of the district is the hospital, something that we have. Speaking of revitalization, we need to open that bad boy back up as soon as possible. There's all different properties or different things that I call, maybe not the right term, eyesores. We'll have to take a look at that. Plus, as far as downtown is concerned, we need to work really hard with getting people in the businesses and recruiting businesses that what the people want. People want to come downtown. Why do they want to come downtown? They want to shop. They want to eat. We have great shows coming up. By the way, selfish plug, September the 16th is Saturday night. We're going to have, just for you, a Hank Williams Jr. tribute. It's called All My Rowdy Friends. Frank Morrow and company are coming. That's going to be awesome if you're a Hank Williams Jr. fan. And we're looking to have diversity, different groups, different types of music from now until next year. So a lot of cool events we have coming up for Halloween and maybe even New Year's Eve. You heard me right. If you're a fan of that, then let us know. We're going to work on something. We have something planned for First Night Williamston is what we're calling it. For New Year's Eve. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. I want to appreciate, thank you so much for all the people listening in tonight and a lot of people watching. I appreciate it. If you have don't be shy. If you have a question or comment, I could talk all night about how much I love Williamston and Martin County and my ideas, but certainly we wanted this to be interactive where this gives you an opportunity to learn more about me. It's our Meet the Candidate show as I'm running for District 2. There's 2 districts. I'll explain this really quick, not to bore you, but there's District 1. There's 2 candidates. The top 2 candidates, vote getters in that district will win office. The same for District 2 I'm in. And let's see, we have at large, and then we have a mayor. And the mayor and at large, everybody in the town of Williamston can vote for them. So good luck to everyone. And really excited about, too, by the way, the participation that we have with each race has 4 people in it. It's the most we've had in a long, long time. And so we appreciate the people that care about this community. They care about the town. They care about the county. And so they're running that. You're wondering about how you can donate to the campaign? Well, I'll tell you how you can do that. We have up on the screen right now. For those watching, if you're listening, then I'm going to obviously read it to you. And I said, we appreciate your support of the campaign. And how about this? I'm one of the first candidates in the history of Martin County. It is legal, if you're wondering, to use Cash App. And via Cash App, you can go to hashtag, it's my name, David, the number 4, Commish. David for Commish. And you can donate that way. Or the old-fashioned way, you can via check. You can make checks payable to the committee to elect David Richmond. And so we'd love to have you aboard and part of our campaign. If you're wondering about yard signs, people have asked us about that. Well, you can simply put your address, and even if you're watching archive-wise, or you can get in contact with us, you can simply email or just you can put your address in and your name and address, and we'll get those yard signs. We're going to order those this week, and should take. I think we should have them back by next week. I think that's right. So if you want a yard sign, any way you want to participate in the campaign, we would love. In fact, I don't have the email address. I'll have to put that up there at some point. If you want to email me how you can get a part of the campaign, we would love that, as we're going to have early voting. If you want to work at the polls, there's going to be, of course, if you want to drive people to the polls, if you want to work Election Day in any way, and we'll have, I'm sure, a huge celebration when we win November 7th. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll do that for you. But November 7th is the Election Day. I believe the early voting starts September the 21st. So about a month away, as a matter of fact, for early voting. So please go out and early vote. We'd love for you to do that for sure. We can talk more about those things. We talked about trust and communication and transparency. I can promise you we'll go back over our platform and talk a little bit more about that while we have waiting for your comments. People being a little shy tonight, that's okay. The most important thing is we wanted to have a first show tonight to introduce myself, to give you a little taste of my platform. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, then please put those in Facebook or YouTube. We'll go back to the platform issue number 1. And we talked about trust and communication and transparency. We talked about that and about anything. If there's a big issue, I can promise you we'll have shows like this. We'll have, we talked about maybe meeting in person somewhere at the park, or it could be a restaurant or wherever, local business, to get a chance to get your opinions on how you feel about things. I want you to know that you are a huge part of this campaign, and the same thing, you'll be a huge part if I'm elected, of feeling like you have a voice. I can't tell you the number of people that have said, David, I feel like I have no voice. People don't listen to me. They're not transparent. And the old saying goes, you have two ears and one mouth. That's something I have learned as an adult more and more all the time, is to listen to people. If you listen to people, you find out really who they are. And that's one of the things on this campaign I'm going to work really hard on, is to learn more about people and I've met a lot of great people already in the last handful of days and weeks, people before I was running. And so I appreciate them very much for introducing themselves, or especially at the stage over the last couple months for sure. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I promise you. We talked about, speaking of the stage, the second thing was sports and entertainment. We have plans next year. We talked about music on Main. We talked about that. We talked about movies on Main, things at the stage next year you can count on. One of the things I left out and just realized is Mayfest. We've been trying to have that since we talked about it since August of 2020, and it's almost been, it's been 3 years now, but we're going to try to see if we can do that next May. And maybe we should move it to, we've been thinking about that, moving it to downtown and do that as far as vendors. That would be like the second Saturday in May, something like that. It'll be after Mother's Day, obviously, and graduation, so you wouldn't have to pick between mom or a graduate or that. Obviously, you'd be there. We want as many people as we can to participate. So that's another thing under my sports and entertainment thing, to get more people to Williamston, is certainly to have it there. Sports and entertainment. We told you there's some stuff in sports we can't talk about just yet, but things we're working on, and it comes down to leadership to make this stuff happen. And so the leadership is something that's extremely important. And when it comes to getting things for Williamston, I am certainly a guy that will try very, very hard. I'm not Santa Claus. Obviously, I'm not a savior. There's only one savior, that's Jesus Christ. And I'm not the savior. I'm not a know-it-all. I don't pretend to know it all. I remember my great supervisor when I first started 8 years ago at the hospital, Cynthia. She told me, you don't have to have the answers. You just call the people that have the answers. And that's what, if I don't know the answers to something and you ask me, I can promise you in a short period of time, I will find out and get back with you one way or another. So sports and entertainment are huge for me, and ways that we can bring back this great town. And as I said, platform number 3, the issue is certainly business friendly. We want to be business friendly, and we're going to look at the taxes. If there's any way that we can reduce taxes, I think that I heard at one time, I don't know if it's true, but Bubba and Johnny, that Johnny's watching tonight, they're numbers guys, but I was told that we are like the number 2 highest rated taxes in North Carolina. I'll have to check on that, but for municipal purposes, if you will, for towns. And I know our tax base, we don't have the tax base. That's an issue. Lady asked me last week, how do we keep on Saturday night? How do we keep our kids in? Well, we got to have industry. We've got to have jobs for them. So they don't have to worry about a job really during, their school years and your teenage years, obviously. But then after they go to college, they move away, and where are they going to go? Where are they going to find an industry? So that's something we need to look at. I think, as I mentioned, for business friendly, we've got to look at every way that we can help each other out when it comes to having people that really, truly want a business. They want to come here, and we have to have folks, let's work with them, do it. So thank you to Matt Semenza checking tonight. He says, get it, Dave. Appreciate you, bro, very much. He's actually, I wish you could vote for me, Matt. He's in Connecticut, so Matt can't vote for me, but I appreciate he has supported me and part of our Sports Objective team as we work really hard to cover the Pirates. And we are always doing shows, and busy time of year. Media Day was on Saturday, and we have, of course, we'll have a show later on tonight in about an hour, as a matter of fact. So we'll be talking about the Pirates. But in this particular case, we're talking about me, David Richmond, and we talked about we're business friendly. We talked about the fourth thing is certainly crazy, and that is we talked about reducing crime. And reducing crime is huge, as we need to work on that. And I'm not beating up the police officers. Notice that I am simply saying, how can we come together? How can we reduce crime? And let me just say this. I heard someone say to me on Saturday night, it really bothered me, that she was told that her neighborhood is not a priority. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, if you vote for me, I don't care if you look like me, you don't look like me. The bottom line is I represent you in District 2, and I can promise you that every single neighborhood, every person, it matters to me. You're important to me. And I'm not just saying that to win an election. I would say that regardless. People that know me very well, know that I have a huge heart. I lead with my heart. And that just really bothered me, that that lady was told that her neighborhood was not a priority. And so that I will tell you, if you vote for me, you are a priority. You are very important. You are here. And we have to remember, again, like I said, that we serve you. You don't serve us. We serve you. And that's the one thing in government, I think, that's very important, that people, I don't want you to ever call me, like I said earlier in the show, don't call me Commissioner. I want you to call me David. I'm not, people are asking me why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for a resume builder. I'm not doing it for political ambitions. As I told you, I talked to some of my friends. I said, I can't believe I'm running for political office. I said I would never run for political office, and here I am. And it's because I care about my community. I care about my future for my kids. You know, I think that we have a lot to offer. And another thing is, I want to mention about the hospital. If you're just joining us, we have Dr. Stephen Manning tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 6 p.m., as we're going to be talking about Save MGH. And it's another great way we can do that is to have Dr. Manning. He's been on the forefront of working really hard to get the right, what's behind me, right behind me in the shot there is the hospital. And we're going to work really hard. I haven't slept very well, as you guys know, over the last few weeks because of that very thing. Blub asked, yes, I was a political science major. I talked about that at the very beginning of the show. I do have experience running campaigns. I have been a part of campaigns my whole entire adult life since age 19, going all the way back to 1992. I'm aging myself. I'm 50 years old, if you didn't know that. I've said early in the show that I'm a product of Martin County Schools, very proud of our public schools. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to, I'm really excited. One of the things, I know that we don't work as far as a town about the school system, right? But I think schools are very important. And let me just tell you, speaking of our future, Dr. Michelle White, our superintendent, is fabulous. I think she's excellent. I love her passion. And when you have children in the school system that are fifth graders and fourth graders, they are very important to me that we have the right leaders. I want to give a shout out to our school board. I know we have Doug Baker, I know personally, he does a great job on the school board. They are great people. And you know what? They don't have all the answers, but they are working really hard. And I know they'll call just like me. I don't pretend to know all the answers, but I'll pick up the phone if I don't know the answers and get back with you. And when it comes to the leadership under Dr. White, we have, of course, the innovative campus. I love the fact that we have early college. My kids now, it's crazy. I know Matt and I are, and Johnny and my sister Amy, the people watching tonight, others, we would have killed to have innovative campus where early college, where you can literally 8th grade now, get this, you can take high school courses. I don't want to get too off of this, but of course, but I wanted to tell you guys about this. I was really excited about speaking of our future, but you can take 3 right now high school courses, maybe 4 soon in 8th grade. So you can already have 4 classes under your belt in 8th grade. You go to 9th grade, and in 2 years, you can have a high school diploma. In 4 years, you can have a 2-year degree, or they have a track, also a track for 5 years. Either way, 18, 19 years old, you already have a 2-year degree. You have your high school degree and your college degree. I think that's fabulous. I think those are the kind of things that we need to do. They're simple in some ways, but more complex in others. But I think they're simple when it comes to the execution of it. And I do think it's a lot of hard work as far as the teachers are concerned. And obviously the hard work the individuals will have to do. And you have to be really focused. Maybe I wasn't as focused as I should have been in school, but I am proud to be a pirate of East Carolina University, political science major. Like I said, I know how government works. And because I know how the government works, and other things I want to say to you is we got to be really careful with spending. One of the things that I want to let you know is I value each and every one of you, and I want to let you know when it comes to money, I will be very tight with the money because that's real money. That's your money. That's not my money to play around like Monopoly. It's your money. And so I want to make sure that obviously there's things that are necessary we need to spend on, but we got to be really careful on spending too much. And I can make a pledge to you right now. I'm not going to ever, ever, ever vote for something as something I may be passionate about, right? But I'm never going to put it on the taxpayers to get something that I feel is necessary. And we've been doing a lot of all the people behind the scenes of this show and people watching know we've been getting donations. We've been getting sponsors for different shows, different things like that. That's one thing. When you get private money, it's one thing, but it's another. You will never have me take private, should say public money and put that for pet projects or things I think are necessary or something like that. I was thinking about that before the show, and I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about that. If you have questions or comments tonight, you can do so in Facebook and YouTube, as we've got a good group of people here tonight. And again, if you're just joining us, Dr. Stephen Manning tomorrow night, and he's going to be with us from 6 to 7. Well, at least we'll have a show 6 to 7. I'll see how long Dr. Manning can stay, but that's going to be a lot of fun. Talking to him, it's not so fun. Let me just say, I enjoy talking to Stephen. Dr. Manning is fantastic. He's very bright. He's very articulate when it comes to what's going on with healthcare. It's not funny what's going on right now and not cool with losing 180 jobs we lost at the hospital. And we're praying really hard that we can get those doors back open for not only the 180 jobs lost, but also for the access to healthcare. And if we want to, as someone who's running for town commissioner, I would simply say, not being negative Nelly, I tell you what, why would you come to a town if they don't have healthcare? And let me say something else that we need to do a better job. We were ranked in the state number 6 in the entire state of North Carolina for retirees. Think about it. If you're older and you're retired, you want to have good health care. And we've got to get the hospital back open. And we have to do a better job of marketing our great town. That's something that you see right here, yours truly. I'll do commercials right now. Let me tell you something. I'll make a pledge to you guys right now. This is not self-serving. I'll do commercials right now that can run on the radio, or if it's a television spot and they need my audio, I can tell you right now, I will do those commercials for free. It's not about me. It's about giving back. And I was telling my daughter, Mackenzie, over Thursday night, I guess it was, Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, I was telling her about Pay It Forward, and I explained to her what that means. Let's see. Matt says, one thing I know about Dave Richmond is he loves his community. He will represent it very well. Thank you, bud. Appreciate your support. Matt Semenza, again, from the great state of Connecticut. Wish you and Chrissy could have a summer home here really fast in Williamston. Maybe you can buy a house or do that. By the way, I want to make sure that you are registered to vote. That's another thing. Make sure you can do so at your board of elections. Our case at Martin County Board of Elections. Christy Modlin does a great job there, and she's put up with me recently. And I don't think she's pulled any hair out, but appreciate her very much. I want to remind you, by the way, if you're wondering about how can you contribute to the campaign, we'll tell you. You can go simply to this. It says, we have up here on the screen, we appreciate your support of the campaign. It says, you're wondering about Cash App? Well, you can do it very easily. We don't have to raise a lot of money, maybe $2,000 or $3,000, something like that, maybe more. But you can go to Cash App. It's #, David, the number 4 Commish, David 4 Commish. And you can also, if you want to write a check, make it payable to the committee to elect David Richmond. So again, Cash App is #, David 4 Commish. Via check, make payable to the committee to elect David Richmond. And we would love for you to be a part of the campaign. And like we said earlier, we'll make sure that what we're going to do is we'll make sure that we have opportunities for you to volunteer. If you want to work at the polls, we'd love to have you. If you've never done any kind of campaigning and you said, I've always wanted to do campaigning, I like this guy a lot, Just always remember, I'm the voice for the people that don't feel like they don't have a voice. And there's people out there right now, when it comes to town government, they feel that way. I am your guy. I will fight hard for our District 2 and fight hard for the town of Williamston, Martin County, always. Whether I win or lose, I'm always going to do that for sure. But make sure that you get in touch with us. We'll give you your email. I'll give an email address for you in a little while, where or I'll tell you how you can do that. You can email me, and we'll be able to connect that way. Or you can, obviously, all the events we're doing. Porky's Backyard Barbecue, a great restaurant. There's a lot of great restaurants in our town. Something to be very proud of us. A town of 5,100 to have so many great restaurants. We have a lot of great things to be proud of. I tell you what, I love. Some of you may not know Moortalk Park, and right near, we got a lot of great things near our river. That's another thing I've heard a lot of people talk about, is they want to see more things at the river. I believe there's a golf course they have coming. That's really cool and really exciting times as far as that's concerned. And also, speaking of downtown, man, everybody's record shop, Dallas Dolls, I got a chance to meet him. He opened up the end of June 30th. So a little over a month now. Really excited about the record shop. If maybe you don't like records, well, maybe you know somebody that does. The LPs are making a comeback since about the last 4 or 5 years now. And so he's opened up with that. They have LPs, they have cassettes, compact discs, CDs, and DVD and Blu-rays, I believe, there. But a used LP record shop, if you will. And it's called, again, Everybody's Record Shop. And it's right on Main Street. It's right behind where Swain Wood Shop. I think that's what it was years ago for you, those of you that would be in the market to buy LPs. But it's behind the building, if you will, not in the front, like facing Main Street. It's on the back side of that building. So if you get a chance, check that out. There's a lot of great businesses downtown, and we need more. And again, for revitalization is one of my big parts of my campaign. We would love for people to come down. Maybe the Semenzas will come down and open up a business. Matt, can you work from home, and Chrissy can open up a business in a couple of years? But let's see here. Johnny Gardner has a great question. How much do commissioners work with other municipalities in the county and the county commissioners for the overall betterment of Martin County? That's a great question, Johnny. I think we can do more. I think they do a good job, but I think we can do more. The commissioners, we are the county seat, and so we need to work really hard with the county. And my plan is I will tell you this. I'm glad you brought that up, Johnny. I will work with anyone. I don't care what their political background is. I will work with anyone. I can promise you I'm not one of these guys that gets on there that's going to be hard to deal with. I'm going to be tough in some respects. When it comes to spending money, you can count on that. But when it comes to getting along with people, when it comes to working out things between the town and the county, of course, you can count on me. And I'm glad you brought that up, Johnny. That was something I was going to talk about. However we can help out. I mentioned earlier with, for example, my friend Tim Manning, who's a sheriff. If I can help him out in any way, of course, I'm going to help him out. And I'm going to help out our sheriff's department, even though technically it's not my beat. It's not my jurisdiction. But at the same time, we have to be careful with that. That's an easy way to cop out, and an easy way not to do things is say, "Oh, it's not my problem." When we're living together, right? I mean, the county and the town are one in the same as far as we're in the town and we're inside the county. So we've got to work really hard with them. Johnny, I appreciate that very much, and I know that there's a lot of people that would want to know that question and the answer. And I will tell you once again, if I'm elected on November 7th, I'm going to work really hard with my fellow commissioners on the board in the town, and whoever the new mayor. We've got a new mayor, Joan Wichard Brown. She's done a great job. She is stepping down, retiring. We're proud of her, and she's stepping down. We'll have a new mayor coming in in December, right? 2023. Wow, time is flying. But she's done a great job for the last 8 years, and now I know she wants to step down. So we appreciate her very much, and I'm sure she's going to be a part helping us out too, even though she's off the board. Any connections she's made or any way she can help us, and she's a great singer, if you didn't know that, of gospel music. So I look forward. I'd love to have her perform at the downtown stage anytime, any place to hear the mayor, the singing mayor, for sure. We've got about 15 more minutes as we talk here from 7 until 8 Eastern. Not even that. We have about 12 minutes. I beg your pardon. Time has gone by really fast tonight. We appreciate you so much. If there's any questions you have, comments, concerns, if you want to say hello, you can do so on YouTube or Facebook as we're broadcasting tonight. And again, if you're just joining us, this is something we're going to do on a regular basis. Not only for the campaign, but whenever we win in January, we're going to start the Why Not Williamston podcast. It'll be streamed here on our streaming software. It's called StreamYard. And you can see the show on Facebook or YouTube. We'll stream it. And then we have of course, our podcast where we actually distribute it through every single major podcast. In fact, I understand Stitcher's going away, one of my favorites, the podcast platform. But anyway, they're going away in the matter of days. But all the major players, the Googles, the Apples, the Amazons, all that stuff, you'll be able to. Actually, we're on Spotify, many more. There's so many they're mentioned. I think it's over 20. So I don't want to bore you with that, but certainly check us out for sure. We have the great show, The Sports Objective, like we talked about. We've been doing the show for over 5 years. We've got a huge following. That's one of the things I like to do. I like to spend time, talk a little bit more about me. I love to spend time with my kids. We went to D.C. this week in King's Dominion. We had a great time. They play 3 sports each. In fact, I've signed my daughter, Mackenzie, up for soccer, and also my son, Alex, for football. And then in the wintertime, they play basketball. In the spring, they play softball and baseball. So keeps them out of trouble. That we love to go to Memorial Baptist Church, and we certainly will continue to do that. And appreciate my home church very much, as that's downtown. And yes, that's in my district. So however I can help the church out, and a church is plural, because we're all serving the same God. For Christians, and I know I'll be serving people who may not believe in God. There might be some that are not serving my God, but it's my responsibility once again to serve everyone, and I want to make sure I make that clear. Even though I can tell you I'm not ashamed of who I am and what I believe in, but I want to let you know that I serve everyone. People that look like me, people that don't look like me, maybe people in my neighborhood. I've had people in my neighborhood that lost jobs at the hospital. So I think the world of them. We were talking about certainly with one of the platforms that reduce crime. We need to continue to work hard to learn more about our neighbors. I know my neighbors, most of them, definitely all the people around me, but I can do a better job of learning people in the neighborhood. And so that's one of the things that's been great about the campaign is getting a chance to get out there and meet people. It's a lot of fun, and certainly we look forward to. It's going to be a crazy journey between now and November 7th, but we're looking forward to it. I know that it'll be worth it, as I feel very good about our chances. I think I've heard a lot of positive comments, and that means the world to me, that people have been telling me, other folks are saying how excited they are, and that if we get on the town board, that we'll get stuff done. And that's the absolute truth. I can promise you, as I've said multiple times on purpose, I'm not running for a title. Some people run for a title. I'm not running for a title. I don't care if you ever call me commissioner. I really don't. You can call me David. It's fine. I just want to make a huge difference for my town, for my county. I love people. I do that for a living. I work in hospitality. It's called Experience at the hospital, ECU Health in Greenville at the medical center. I've been there almost 8 years, and I love however I can help people. There's many different ways that we do that on a daily basis. I'm with my great staff, the people that work with me, not for me. And it's really important. We're all one big team, and we are a family. And that's something that means a lot to me. And so with the remaining minutes we have, I just wanted to say, too, that that's what struck me really hard with losing our hospital is when you see these great people and with their tears in their eyes and they're laughing and joking and crying together, a great big family, it makes you want to work harder. And I promise you, as I've said, in the District 2 is where the hospital is located. That's my district. And I can promise you, if anything happens in my district, town, county related, whatever, if it happens in my district, then we're going to do everything we can to help. I mean, when you think about it, if there's a natural disaster, I know one person brought up to my attention, and this is true. If we had a hurricane or tornado, people wouldn't be saying it's a county issue or town issue. They would say, hey, we need to roll up our sleeves and help each other. And that's what we need to do when it comes to the hospital. We need to do everything we can. We have a term that we use in management called constant gentle pressure. And that's what we need on our leaders right now. Constant gentle pressure to make sure that we get that hospital back open, that we're working hard, like we said, to do anything we can to help the county, and of course, my particular case, the town. What I'm going to do, I'll tell you what, we're going to give this to you again, where you can donate. We'd love for you to be a part of the campaign, and we appreciate your support of the campaign. One of the first in all of Martin County to use Cash App. It is legal, folks. I have it registered. Everything is cool. So don't feel, if you know how to use Cash App, well, you don't need to donate a lot of money to the campaign. Maybe you can say, hey, Dave, I have $5, I have $10, I have $20. Hey, that's perfectly fine. You can send it via Cash App to hashtag David, the number 4, Commish. David 4 Commish. And then, of course, if you're looking for a check, then you can simply send it to make payable to the committee to elect David Richmond. So that's how you can do that. We certainly want you a part of the campaign. Again, if you want to, you can actually be a part of our campaign, Richmond and Co-Productions at gmail.com. And we'll try to next time have it up there for maybe another email address for you. We'll work on that. But it's Richmond and Co-Productions at gmail.com if you want to be a part of the campaign. And you can be a part of that campaign, again, by emailing us. And that is Richmond and Co Productions at gmail.com. We have a couple minutes left of the show. We appreciate you so much for people chiming in tonight. And we've got a couple more minutes left. And then we're going to get out of here, ending the show a little bit sooner than anticipated. But we appreciate that. We've got another show to get ready for tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, I want to remind you that we have a great, great guest, Dr. Stephen Manning with Access Medicine. Full disclosure, he's my doctor. He has been, the last few years, believe it or not, I've taken better care of myself thanks to that great man, Dr. Stephen Manning. And we are fortunate to have him. And I tell you what, we are going to have a great time tomorrow night. And hopefully what we're looking for tomorrow night's show, it's informational, and we're looking for solutions. I think we're at the kind of point that we can say, hey, we have done everything we can do as far as we see that there's been a lot of anger, upset, of course. But what we need to do now is focus on solutions to get that hospital back open. I've heard there's grants, and I've said last week, and I'll say again tomorrow night, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, independent, apolitical, whatever it takes to open that hospital, that's what we got to do. We got to stop fighting about what political party or this governor's better than the other one, or this president's better than, it doesn't matter. As you see while we were fighting, I'll just say this, and I'm going to end on this note. You see, when we were fighting, that we had a hospital close, and people were still fighting over the governor coming or not coming, or why he's coming, the making fun of the presidents or former presidents, the current president. We got to get over that. And that's why I'm really happy to be running. I'll end on this. My campaign, we have people on the far left, far right, independent, Democrats, Republicans. They're all coming together. You know why? Beside my name, there should be a W for Williamston. I love my town. I love my county. I'm not going to spend all night talking to you about it, but we will be back tomorrow night, as stated, for Dr. Stephen Manning. That's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him, and very informative. And we appreciate you watching tonight. I know there's a lot of good people that want to get, again, a part of the campaign. You can do so, Richmond and Co-Productions at gmail.com. And we'll have that up for you next time when we have a show. We'll be doing these shows on a regular basis. And so you'll get used to seeing my face for radio for sure. If you're listening, then you can, that's great. But you're watching, then you go, oh my gosh, this guy. But I appreciate you so much. Again, my name is David Richmond. I'm running for District 2 Commissioner, Town Commissioner in Williamston. I would appreciate your vote. I would love your vote on November 7th. You will always have my attention. You can get in touch with me any different way. We're going to give out my email address, my phone. You can text me. You can call me. You can email me. And you will always be connected with me one way or another. I appreciate your time. I'm honored. I'm humbled. There's so many great people watching tonight. And I know there's some that couldn't watch tonight, but they will in the archive. You guys are tremendous. We'll have a couple minutes left, a few minutes short of the hour. But I want to thank you so much. We'll leave while we're ahead, as they say. Until next time, this is Meet the Candidate. I'm David Richmond, and you've been watching tonight. Good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon. Good night.
I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode, from the sidelines down to the post. Put it down like not even close, all out to the last whistle blow. For the flag with the soul and crossbones. Everybody stand up, get your hands up, let our team know that we got their back. This is our house, this is our town, our time, Rebel 19, copy that. Everybody gonna see us go bananas, scream loud, but don't hold back. Every foot, every yard, every first down, every touchdown with the cannons blast.